Since Caitlyn Clark has entered the league, the prevailing conversation around the WNBA has been drawing power.
At one point, Angel Reese bluntly said that she is the reason why people watch women's basketball. A daring assumption until you see what really transpired when she rejoined the Chicago Sky at LSU. You would expect that the purple carpet would be unfurled in Baton Rouge.
One thing that Angel Reese is not. Angel Reese is not a draw. If you haven't believed me before, this weekend further proved that point. Because the Bayou Barbie was officially rejected in the Bayou. Angel Reese was rejected at home.
However, only 6,300 supporters bothered to show up, making the 13,000-seat venue barely half full. And that's showing generosity. Fans of Caitlyn Clark, meanwhile, were paying thousands for seats. Before you could say delusional excitement, her preseason games sold out. And the contrast, oh, how harsh it is. We have the photos that Reese most likely wishes she could take down from the internet. There was a lot of awkward stillness, aisles filled with vacant chairs, $15 tickets collecting dust, and free tickets being distributed. Do you recall her statement that she was drawing attention to the game? Apparently, their eyes were too preoccupied to notice anything else. Comment CC is the needle down below if you ride with Caitlyn. Come on.
How embarrassing! Now, you're not going to hear this from the mainstream media who continues to pretend that the Bayou Barbie is beloved. You're not going to hear this from the media who continues to pretend that Angel Reese is a huge star.
So, let's break down why this LSU homecoming might have stung even more than one of Reese's infamous missed layups. And no, this wasn't just an ordinary game. This was supposed to be her moment. Her triumphant return to the campus that made her a star. The same campus where she once danced on national TV with a championship trophy. The same place where fans screamed her name like she was LSU's Beyoncé. This was her chance to shine, to step back onto her home court as the hometown hero.
Chicago Sky go into LSU, the home court of Angel Reese. Man, it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit.
Instead, it looked like a ghost town with a scoreboard. Social media pics from that night spread like wildfire, and let's just say, they weren't doing Reese any favors. Huge chunks of the arena sat in total silence. Sections completely empty. Rows upon rows of untouched seats. The upper bowl never even opened. Why? Because they couldn't fill the lower one. For someone claiming to revolutionize the sport, the vibe was less. WNBA superstar returns to roaring applause, and more forgotten open mic night.
Nobody showed up to this sucker. Nobody. Let me just blow this. Look at that. I noticed it right off the bat. Look, number one, look at all the purple seats down here in this lower bowl section. And then the entire top bowl, forget about it. Forget about it.
And here's the most hilarious part. Tickets were basically free, heavily discounted, and some even given away. Most seats averaged just $15. That's less than the cost of parking at most NBA arenas. We're talking cheaper than a movie and popcorn. Still, fans didn't bite. You could have thrown in a coupon and a selfie, and the seats would have stayed cold. The woman who claims she's the reason people care about women's basketball couldn't even fill half the crowd at her own alma mater. Let that sink in.
Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese are not the same. Both had their homecoming celebrations this weekend. One of them sold out in 27 minutes. The other one couldn't give away free tickets.
Let's go full math nerd for a second. To hit 50% capacity in that arena, they needed at least 6,670 fans. Angel didn't even crack that. She missed the halfway point by about 300 people. That's not a near miss. It's a full-on whiff. And when someone talks as much as she does about changing the game, falling short of a D-list concert crowd is definitely not the flex she thinks it is.
In case you were wondering, I did do the math. How many seats were actually left last night? Over 6,800. In a 13,000 capacity arena, there was over 6,800 seats still available. And some people were saying, by the way, that that literally there were some $15 tickets out there.
Even the broadcast knew something was off. Every frame was zoomed tighter than Reese's TikTok videos. But unfortunately for Angel, social media exists, and fans weren't shy about sharing the unfiltered reality. Images of an arena echoing with awkward quiet, seats as empty as her claims of stardom.
Look at all those empty seats, folks. That is crazy as hell. I mean, empty, all that. Never mind all this. They could have put black tarps over it. Look at that. Look at that. Look, the WNBA still got problems. They got problems over and beyond one player. I don't know what they do about it.
You might be thinking, okay, one game, so what? But here's where it gets hilarious. Angel's been running her mouth for months about bringing in new fans, about being the spark that's lighting up women's basketball. But numbers don't lie. Empty arenas don't lie. Silence doesn't lie. She can post all the Instagram reels she wants. 6,300 fans in a building that holds 13,000 is all the fact check we need.
Brazilians sent their national team to Baton Rouge to open the WNBA preseason against the Chicago Bravado. The event was marketed as a homecoming for Angel Reese. The Bayou Barbie returns to the Bayou to be worshipped by her millions and millions of adoring fans.
This was supposed to be a full-circle moment, a hero's welcome. Instead, it turned into a PR disaster wrapped in a participation trophy. The place where she built her brand didn't even show up. Her so-called ride-or-die fan base clearly had better things to do. And if Angel Reese can't pull a crowd at LSU, then where exactly can she? Now, let's talk about the player who actually brings fans to the game, Caitlyn Clark. While Reese was performing to crickets and camera pans, Clark was busy selling out entire arenas. Her preseason game in Iowa wasn't just packed, it was electric. Every seat filled, every fan on their feet. Scalpers could have made rent off those tickets. The demand was insane. The energy? Unmatched. Clark doesn't just draw crowds, she creates moments.
Finding affordable tickets for the Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Seats at the arena for the May 4th matchup between the Indiana Fever and Brazil were first offered to season ticket holders and a few top donors. It didn't take long for them to be gone.
And here's where things get truly popcorn-worthy. When tickets for Caitlyn Clark's preseason game at Carver Hawkeye Arena went on sale, they didn't trickle out over days. They didn't slowly climb to a sellout over a few hours. Nope. Every single seat was gone in just 27 minutes. Less than half an hour. That's faster than ordering pizza and regretting your toppings. Fans were refreshing screens like they were chasing Beyoncé tickets, and we're talking about a preseason game. That kind of demand doesn't just whisper star power, it screams it with confetti cannons. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Angel Reese's big return felt like a retirement ceremony no one RSVP'd to. Clark's preseason outing? A full-blown national holiday. One rookie struggles to fill her own backyard. The other is treated like a rock star wherever she goes. Fans are rearranging vacations, booking flights, doing whatever it takes to see Caitlyn play. This isn't hype. This is real stardom.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Clark has single-handedly turned preseason WNBA games into must-watch events. Meanwhile, Angel Reese can't even get LSU fans to show up for one night. Sure, you could point to timing, marketing, weather, whatever. But let's be honest, if she really had that kind of pull, the fans would have come. The fact that they didn't speaks louder than any press conference ever could.
Crowd was praising their Bayou Barbie. The chance of Angel Reese could be heard all the way in the third row. Problem is, I wouldn't exactly call it a crowd. Even calling it a small gathering might be inappropriate. Perhaps a more suitable description would be a family reunion.
And it's not just this one game. This is a trend. Everywhere Caitlyn Clark goes, ticket prices spike, jerseys fly off shelves, and social engagement explodes. She's not just changing how we watch women's basketball, she's redefining who watches it. Angel Reese can talk all she wants, but while she's talking, Caitlyn Clark is delivering. Let that sink in. Fans are dropping hundreds, no, scratch that, thousands of dollars on resale sites just to catch Clark in action. And these aren't even playoff games. Not even games that count. These are glorified scrimmages, the basketball equivalent of a sound check. Still, people are reaching deep into their wallets like it's their civic duty, just to witness her live. Who does that for preseason? Oh, right. Superstars. Game changers. Icons in the making. Caitlyn Clark.
Here we have today, basically clapping back at all of that and proving that they know that they are the moment, they are the Showtime team, they are the biggest team currently in the WNBA. This kind of stuff is not only good for the Indiana Fever, it's good for the entire WNBA.
Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the hype spectrum, Angel Reese's preseason homecoming was practically a Groupon event. Tickets were going for $15, and even that was apparently a bit too steep for most. You could have brought a date and bought snacks for less than the cost of a single Fever resale ticket, and still fans were like, hey, maybe next time. Imagine offering the basketball version of dollar store deals and still watching the crowd skip town. Things get even wilder when you realize opposing teams are now upgrading their arenas just to host Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever. That's right, they're moving games to bigger buildings because their regular ones can't keep up with the Clark effect. That's not normal. That's not hype. That's a traveling economic boom wrapped in a pair of sneakers. Every time Clark hits a new city, local vendors smile and team accountants throw high fives. She's not just a player, she's a stimulus package.
What I also think is hilarious is that they took that a step further. So if you go to the team store, the Indiana Fever's team store, you will see that they have a brand new t-shirt that they are selling. And that t-shirt says, every game is a home game. And then on the back, it says, now you know, with a sold out banner with all of their basically schedule. It's like a tour t-shirt and it says every game is a home.
And with this massive chasm between who's drawing fans and who's drawing yawns, the question practically writes itself. Who's really putting butts in seats? The stats have spoken. The ticket demand has spoken. The empty and overflowing arenas have spoken. And all fingers are pointing in one direction, Caitlyn Clark. She's selling out venues faster than Swifties sell out world tours, while Angel Reese is struggling to fill even half the building at her own celebratory return. These aren't hot takes, they're cold, hard facts. And before anyone tries to chalk it up to college loyalty, let's shut that down real quick. Caitlyn Clark is packing arenas she's never even stepped foot in. These aren't just Iowa fans on a road trip. These are basketball fans, period, of all stripes, flocking from everywhere just to witness her play. Meanwhile, Angel couldn't even fill the gym she literally built her brand in. If the very fans who cheered her through a championship year can't muster enough interest to show up, then what are we really talking about here?
Family and friends of Angel Reese welcome the Bayou Barbie back to the Bayou. Pay very, very close attention to the so-called crowd. Roll the clip. This was her homecoming. This was supposed to be a night of celebration. It looked like an LSU home game in November of 2023, when Angel Reese was supposedly at the height of her drawing power. Thousands of empty seats.
Remember when Angel Reese hit social media with that grand proclamation? She didn't just hint at her importance. She said it straight up. She claimed the reason we're watching women's basketball isn't just because of one person, it's because of her too. And no, that's not a misquote or media spin. That's straight from the source, a public, confident declaration that she's one of the main drivers of women's basketball viewership. Bold, powerful, except where's the proof?
Sorry, young lady. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA additionally for you. This is all about Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark is bringing the money to the game, the planes to the game, the TV viewership. The WNBA is on fire because of Caitlyn Clark.
Because now we've got the receipts, the literal receipts. Attendance numbers don't need interpretation. They speak for themselves. And the numbers from her LSU homecoming? They're painting a picture that looks more like a wake than a welcome. If Reese really has that kind of impact, where were the fans? Because one thing's for sure, they weren't in those seats.
According to the mother of Angel Reese, who also refers to herself as Angel Reese, according to the original Angel, they are not celebrating her drawing power, mainly because it doesn't exist. They are celebrating championships. Mama Reese got on social media and clapped back at the haters, which in this case were Caitlyn Clark fans who were pointing out the empty arena. According to Mama Reese, Caitlyn and Angel are not the same. We celebrating championships over here.
And here's the truly bizarre part. Angel Reese has millions, and I mean millions, of social media followers. You'd think with that kind of fan base, they'd show up when she steps on the court. But nope. Crickets. It's like her entire following disappears the moment a basketball is involved. Apparently, people are far more interested in her outfits than her offense. Let's be real, 6,300 fans in the stands is what you might expect for a sleepy midseason college game, not a headline-making WNBA homecoming for a self-proclaimed viewership magnet. If Angel's really drawing all these new fans, they must have gotten lost on the way to the arena. Or maybe they just stayed home scrolling through her Instagram stories instead.
One of them packed 15,000 paid fans into the arena. The other couldn't fill the lower bowl.
This whole situation really makes you stop and think, are we watching a baller or are we watching a brand? Because it's starting to feel like Angel Reese is better at creating content than creating crowds. Is she a star athlete, or is she a viral personality who occasionally dabbles in layups? One of those fills arenas, the other just fills Instagram feeds with filters.
But look at their career trajectory since then. Caitlyn Clark is the only draw in the history of women's basketball. Angel Reese couldn't sell out home games at LSU, couldn't sell out home games in the WNBA in Chicago, can't fill half the arena for her homecoming celebration. Caitlyn Clark doesn't beg for attention. Matter of fact, I would imagine that Caitlyn Clark gets tired of the attention.
Her famous claim about bringing eyes to the game? Completely blown up by that LSU turnout. You can't spin away thousands of empty seats. They speak louder than any tweet, TikTok, or headline. Say all you want online, but when the stands aren't spinning, the hype doesn't hold up. Let's call it what it is. Angel Reese is starting to look more like a social media influencer who happens to wear a jersey than a true basketball draw. Sure, she's got the sponsorships, the fashion deals, the attention, but where's the in-person support? The fans willing to show up, spend money, and cheer her name from the rafters? Spoiler alert, they weren't in Baton Rouge.
She does everything she can to keep her name in the headlines, yet for some reason, it doesn't translate to ticket sales, doesn't translate to television ratings. Angel Reese was the biggest star in Unrivaled. Hell, she was the only star in Unrivaled. No one was watching.
The truth is out, and no filter can change it. The narrative of Angel Reese being the next big thing in women's basketball is starting to crack, loudly. And it's not just the haters noticing. Everyone is seeing it. If you can't even fill half an arena in your own college town, the place where you should be a legend, it's clear there's a gap between the talk and the turnout. The fans spoke, and they didn't show up. That's the reality. While Caitlyn Clark has people fighting over tickets and crashing ticket sites, Angel Reese had $15 seats sitting empty. The battle over who's really growing the game? Not even close. If you're Team Clark, comment CC is the needle down below. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and click the video on the screen. We'll see you in the next one.